Sup, bitches? Three of spades here. We got some more bootleg Chinese Battlefield 4 for you. So there are a few maps I skipped over, but I think there's one of them. City District. I was gonna play that. No, I got fucking locked down. I was gonna play Crossfire. So this totally isn't Call of Duty. Legally distinct bog from Call of Duty 4. Most of the war maps I can remember are Ground War. Call of Duty were they were a little chaotic, but they were fun. But yeah, with a lot of new games these days, I think what really kind of got me was not so much any one thing. It was just like the passage of time, kind of hoping this would eventually iron itself out or someone else would come in, and they just never did. Nothing ever came from it, right? So it's like with the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, usually they would give you like cool characters or action games or just fun shit to be, looking forward to. When the Xbox One came around, they just said, fuck you, basically, and never stopped saying that. Why? It was just so dumb. Like the whole generation of that console. The people who played the games ultimately wanted the same things as the people from the Xbox 360, so it's like, why were we even fighting each other? We all wanted the same shit. Oh, it's because this console is new and I really like it. Yeah, we like it too. But we also like it to work. If you like these games, you wouldn't like to be robbed, right? That's what these companies are doing to you. They're treating you like a second-rate citizen or a criminal. You shouldn't be treated that way. That's wrong. And these people were just fighting and advocating for that for about 15 years, and this kind of eventually led into the current day sort of culture war stuff that a lot of people, do in real life or on the internet, you name it. Oh, thank you very much there, M. Fritzo. Awesome. And it's kind of unfortunate, the trend just escalated into more and more and more like nonsensical, angry stuff, and it became really disruptive to my enjoyment of a lot of things I did for fun. It became really disruptive to my enjoyment of just, sitting down and playing a video game. I quit Steam, and I've never been happier. Because the thing is, I was looking at Steam as just this big thing it was not. Steam should have just been one option. But because, it's easy to fall into sunken cost fallacy. It's easy to think it's just the only option that's any good because everybody's there. Well, I was just looking around and it's like, what games are really good anymore on this fucking platform? None. They've really concealed and hidden a lot of the big name AAA shooter games, and they've replaced them with anime pornography or, shit with furries. That's just fucking gross and weird. I don't need to see that shit. And I didn't ask to see that shit, so it's like, okay, well, that's what's popular. These are what these people enjoy. Okay, well, I would enjoy not being a part of these people. So I just stopped. I went to My Abandonware, went to fucking eBay, went to all these different places, websites, and there's a lot of online games you don't need Steam for. There's just different options. If you treat Steam as if it is a monopoly, oh, well, it's almost like it's gonna fucking be one. Steam is not a monopoly. It's just most people have chosen to treat themselves poorly. And that's the problem. That's why they keep doing these things, because you keep letting them. Or if you don't let them, well, guess what? Somebody else is gonna. And if you don't do this stuff, well, don't worry. There will be 5 people to take your... For every one person who does not do this, I bet you there will be 500 people who will. That's what they count on. There was a great video called Performative Morality. It has a picture of Bobby Kotick in front of Gay Flag. It will just profile a lot of, it summarizes a lot of scandals that big name companies have been involved in, and because nobody's really changing their habits, they just keep getting away with it. If you don't change your habits, you don't do anything different. Well, yeah. If it's long since stopped being a good deal, it doesn't mean you can't enjoy what you enjoyed. It means you're going to have to eventually, one way or another, ask yourself of what value this is to you. And in my case, I found the answer was very little. And I figured out that I could just go back to games and other mods and fun stuff like this and find a considerably more fun time for free. Now, the graphics might not be pretty, but it's still a fun game where I'm here on fucking Call of Duty in Battlefield fighting a bunch of guys like I'm playing a mobile game on the iPad, but with a keyboard and mouse, because I tend to find mobile games on the iPad don't have very good controls just because the touchscreen is really hard to fucking deal with. And the one game I think that was really good, control-wise, called Blitz Brigade, was shut down. And it was like this Team Fortress 2 Battlefield Heroes type of game. It was like a clone of Battlefield Heroes. And, yeah, they shut it down. Gameloft decided that they no longer wanted to do anything with it. And, unfortunately, a lot of mobile games share that same fate because they have a stigma of just being loot box infested cancer, or they have big pornography in them. And see, that's the thing. It's like, oh, well, that one's bad, but meanwhile, the stuff on Steam is apparently okay? No, they're both disgusting. This is just unsightly and it needs to fucking go. I don't care how, these people feel about it. Either you need to do something better or you need to stop spreading this shit everywhere and treating every, there are people who sneak in, lie about their fucking age. I mean, Lord knows, I think most people who got onto YouTube and have big channels nowadays were once a kid, lied about their age, and didn't even need an account to fucking watch YouTube. You still don't if you want to fucking watch YouTube within 2 searches. And I did an experiment. Turns out you can just search 2 innocuous seeming things, and in this case, the experiment I did, I searched for Hail Hydra and Halo 5. So that is to say Marvel and Halo, both things that are rated for teens. Right? Halo 5 is a T-rated game for children, and that usually means 12 to 16 years old. So that and Hail Hydra, which is Avengers Endgame. So Captain America, the Avengers, another kids related, thing, roughly. They still have adult jokes in there, but they primarily aim it towards children, or children go watch the stuff. In 2012 I watched The Avengers. Right. That's a game, or not a game, well, it is a game actually, but it's a movie made for teenagers. It's not too adult, but it's not too kiddie, if you will. So a lot of people can watch it. It's very clearly made for 12-year-olds. It's a big blockbuster action movie with colorful characters, which is kind of why it worked so well, because so many other action movies were just bland, right? It's the same thing with Iron Man. They made this goofy, superhero thing work. So if it works in an action movie, it looks awesome, because now it's got some flair that the other movies just didn't. So nobody could really compete for a while until they, ultimately fucked themselves up. But anyway, point is, the search results that popped up right after were mostly like okay or innocuous things or just unrelated Halo. And then you would have just like the first thing that when I refresh the page would be the Gooner's Guide to Halo. What the fuck? And there were these clearly like fetish characters and fan arts of like Halo 5 with big boobs. Ew. The same way I don't want to see Big Dick Guide to Halo. I don't want to see that either. It's just disgusting. I'd rather just see like custom maps, which is what I'd searched was Halo 5 custom games. And I watched Night of the Mantis. Okay, so how do you go from that to pornography? How does YouTube do that? I don't know. Unless they're trying to normalize the practice, which they are. Unless they're trying to normalize a lot of weird fucking behavior, So it's no wonder a lot of people tend to get very, very comfortable saying disgusting and disturbing things, and that's just very, very inappropriate. This is inappropriate. But guess what? You don't see these motherfuckers taking their clothes off. They're just shooting each other. Barely any blood. Maybe a few, like, oh no, he dies and he falls on the ground. Whoop-de-fucking-do. This is a T-rated video game. Fun fact. So if you give this to a kid, they're not going to turn into a serial killer, you know? That's kind of what saved a lot of games from going too far over the edge. Was just there were a lot of, T-rated games like Call of Duty for kids. Like Garden Warfare, I think, is a great example. That's a game that clearly is poking fun and parodying Call of Duty. And EA tended to do Call of Duty parodies and stuff as well. There were a few little franchises and things they had done with, a lot of jokes poking and, bashing Call of Duty. And that's fine. I actually really liked that when they did, but they don't really do that anymore, and now they've just kind of become the very things that they would originally poke fun at. They've become the sort of cancerous trend that has defined a lot of really terrible tropes and things that they used to kind of, be against. It's little things that once they're gone, you really start to miss them. I remember when I took Dragon Age for granted. Didn't really care for it. I remember when I used to take action games with big dudes in them as the main stars, going into hell or doing things that looked, I don't know, normal, as just something that would always be there. I didn't know it was any good. I didn't know it was special. And I didn't know there were so many people who hated it to such degrees that they would literally ruin and drag down everything else just so it stoops down to their fucking level. Didn't know. And I didn't think they would be so powerful. Apparently they were. Were they ever kind? Were they ever courteous? Did they ever consider the feelings of the people they were hurting? Of course not. They just fucking said and did what they said and didn't give a shit about the consequences. Now most people are starting to catch up. The whole woke fatigue is set in. It's just bad behavior. Bad behavior, bad products, really unfun. Just bad all over the place. The best way to stop it from getting any power is to just do things like this. Play games that you want. Not that they're old, just that are fun. And stop playing their stuff if it's no good. You shouldn't be, weirdly extorted or feel like you have any obligation to play a video game. It's a video game. It's a fucking video game. It'd be weird if my, Call of Duty started patronizing me about dumb shit that I was doing after it gave me no choice. It's why Spec Ops The Line didn't go anywhere. Even if it had sold well. The whole patronizing bit where it's like, do you even know why you're shooting people? And they said that's the only option is just fucking, kind of hypocritical. The same way that it's hypocritical to light churches on fire and hurt people, and then say you're against fascism. Huh. That seems a little odd. Not that I'm very religious, but I do understand a thing or two. These people are off in their own corner, not hurting anybody. The fuck did they do? Exist. That's what they did. Uh-oh. It's why a lot of people also get into anime, too. I think they deserve, better production value. My problem is really not so much with the anime itself. I have problems with it, but it's like production value issues. You should have things that look better. You should expect some semi-professional quality. And it's not hard to get that with something like Unreal Engine 4 or whatever. Should every game be that way? Fuck no, because that's boring too. You don't want everything to be one way or another. That just gets lame. You should have games that look like this, but it shouldn't be every game. Good variety. It's what I liked on the App Store, and it's what I still do like about it. Nobody really talks about mobile games anymore, but if you do want something that's straight up just like Xbox 360 but improved, I'd say that's the best play to go. Best place to go is just mobile games because they're made by people who clearly care about what they're doing. And if you do look for about like I don't know 2 minutes, it's not hard to find good ones. There are tons of YouTube channels who will have all of these top 10 lists, who have all of these resources and all this. So it's not for a lack of the resources, it's not for a lack of tools. It's mostly just this strange aggressive barrier that is in front of you, and your ability to use these tools is obfuscated, and like to find them is kind of hard. Most people just settle for Google, and then they wonder, why do I feel like shit when Google is trying to insult me, give me a bunch of unhelpful results, and I can't find anything I'm looking for? Don't worry, part of it is people. That's why I don't entirely blame this stuff. There's a lot more nuance to that, right? Nuance is often something that gets totally ignored because people want a simple solution to a problem and it bites them in the ass every time. When the solution and the reasons for the problem in the first place are never as easy as it would be. You get a simple solution, you're going to get simple results, and they're not going to be what you want. They're never going to be what you want. I tried easy results for 7 years. There was an engine called Game Guru that I made Rogue Planet 1 on. That came back to bite me in the ass, very simply because the lack of coding meant, and the way it was locked down to just kind of incentivize you to make, trashy looking early 2000s games, ultimately was kind of a flaw because you couldn't do anything you wanted. You couldn't make a game that stood out or that was unique. It was really just a good tool to learn how to make games, not to actually make one yourself. And attempting to use it in that way was very destructive to the overall design of Rogue Planet. Which, hey, I can understand that putting some people off because it just kind of looks like another iOS game or some mobile game or some sort of crypto game. When it's not, it just looks funny. But it doesn't seem like a game looking weird was ever really something that stopped people from enjoying anime, right? Like, I think anime looks weird, and that's by design. People who have abnormal proportions, especially women, hypersexualized too. See, people like the weird shit. Don't get it mixed up. They do. We most certainly gotta defend this objective. I'm gonna go attack this objective, but I'm fighting an actual uphill battle. We go here with the squad. This is actually a really good map. But yeah, like, a lot of people these days will say and do kind of nonsensical stuff, and the observations I tend to make about them, people jump to the extreme in a lot of comment sections as well. They'll just say because you observed something, you're attacking them. No, making an observation is not an insult. It's not an argument. Not everything needs to be a fight. Pointing out things that are kind of strange and bizarre. Oh my god, isn't that what your video essays do? For hours and hours and hours and hours, and then they never provide you a real solution? Huh. Well, gee, I wonder. It's almost like YouTube kind of incentivizes that. So it's like, okay, well, if you don't want people to keep complaining, then you kind of have to give them another natural incentive and a solution. Because I think the problem is also, like, you're never given a real call to action by the end, which is what I really liked about Ross Scott and the whole stop killing games. But it's like, he didn't really give much of a plan B, so that's the thing about it, is he said anybody could join, so I decided, you know what, fuck it. This guy actually has a built-in audience of people. He seems to have the right idea. What he's saying makes absolute sense, and on top of that, he actually wants to do something about it, and he has the means to do something about it. He has done all of his research, he's done the heavy lifting for me, so I'm going to hop on board this guy's movement because he's an absolute, badass. This dude's fucking leading the pack. So it's like, you know, I'd been enjoying some of his other videos, like Freeman's Mind and The Game Dungeon. So, I mean, hell, if anybody can join and come save hundreds, if not thousands of games, fucking hell, I'd love that as an achievement. I'd love that on my reputation. Hey, I've saved 150 games or something, including ones that you liked, or whatever. Because I don't want you to have to go through the same shit I did. That's terrible. I don't think that you should ever have to lose your games if you love them. Unfortunately, it's like, you know, I'm kind of more pragmatic if need be. If it's like, okay, you have to kill 100 games to save a million, then okay. I mean, I'd hate to do that, but I would rather no games die if at all possible. I'd rather nobody get robbed like they're currently being, thanks to just terrible attitude and a number of other things kind of compounding on themselves. I would rather you just be able to play the game, you own it, and you can enjoy it as much as you like. Just fucking over there. And white. Need to go see if I can get N white. Kill that guy. Russia's taking this control point. Just running past the bullets. We gotta fucking dodge them. Fucking run, bitch. Shit. On one side of the street, you got a building that's America's. The other side, you got one that's Russia's. These bushes are in my face. Bye-bye. Finally, a hip-fire kill that works. Got him. Alright. Stop Killing Games was a pretty good opportunity for me to actually attempt to spread awareness about this practice. And ultimately it has had sort of a domino effect where a lot of people have been going out of their way to go and just play games that they own, for fuck's sake. You know, people have become a lot more aware to the practice, and it's sort of... Oh, fuck. Damn it. It's sort of helped. It's not entirely neutralized the whole part where, you know, your games die and they're being murdered. But it certainly has given people the right tools to go and figure out, okay, do I want to buy this game or that game? Do I want to help this practice if it doesn't help me? Not that it actually stopped the practice so much, but that's why I kind of make a mega list. That's why I did the whole thoughts on Stop Killing Games. I was a little pessimistic because, I mean, hey, so was Ross. He was not so much the leader, but sort of just the face. Like, kind of more like how the Queen doesn't rule England, or the, you know, they're not a monarchy, but I would say more so. Just not, this isn't an official opinion, because I don't know how the fuck they ran it. They ran it well enough, clearly, because it seems to be going through the courts, so he's being real silent about it. He's kind of acting like he's been Mirandized, because he just wants this shit to get passed, so that's awesome. But most people on YouTube, they've kind of just stopped talking about it, so I guess it's like, you know, it's still up in the air. But, the whole thing that Ross has done is he had a plan, and he did what he said he's going to do. And, you know, I actually had the opportunity to hop on board with a movement of someone who's bigger than me, give people these tools to understand this practice is, yeah, pretty harmful. And it's like, okay, you might or might not enjoy this game, or you might think it's an indictment on your personality that someone else doesn't enjoy it. But, like, would you rather be able to not have the play, you know, the ability to play the game at all? Because that's what we're kind of fighting against. And a lot of people, like Pirate Software, you know, we're pretty openly hostile towards the whole thing, calling Ross like a grifter or whatever. It's like, no. I think a grift is taking money for a game that, you know, you never finish and, you know, calling it a scam or saying this and that. I think that's a grift. I think a grift is pretty clearly and obviously harming a movement that has good and clear intentions. and then saying that you're not going to help it and you're actively going to hurt people who want to help it because they want to own their fucking games and they work. I think that's a grift. But, Ross never had the idea of, I want to use this for financial gain. He's still bum fucking around with his movie, but people, because it's like, oh, he doesn't finish his movie, therefore he's not finishing Stop Killing Games. Well, yeah, I guess if you put a fucking concrete barrier in front of your garage, you'd say he's not gotten his car out, therefore he's never gonna get his car out. Yeah, because you barricaded the fucking car in the garage and now he can't fucking get out. You know what I mean? Well, if you put an anchor on a boat, it's not gonna go anywhere either. How about we just, maybe own our games and they work? So you can have your anime game or your cartoon game the same way I can have my army game, and I don't need to worry about doing weird shit like piracy just to have half of an experience that I otherwise wouldn't. Because that's just not at all a reasonable state of affairs. Let's see what happens if I jump. Okay, it hurts a little, but at least I can swim. Some good water. I like that water. Alright, time to roll. Shit. It was just too late. Eat shit, bitch. I need to get a flag. Fuck, he killed me. He's gonna take the flag back, but that was just a diversion. The assailant. But yeah, it's a good thing that Stop Killing Games and other movements like Threat Interactive have kind of helped a lot of other people. Other channels, what they've done ultimately for getting people to understand a lot of stuff and to then take action to it. That's the thing that a lot of people like Louis Rossman ultimately failed at, is Louis will just, he'll poke fun at something, he'll say this is how this is being screwed up, but it's like, you've only just rang the alarm bell. If you don't have the firefighters to come put out the fire, then all you're doing is just having an alarm going off and nobody cares. All you're doing is just like doom posting, as some people would say. It's just paranoid, very, very defeatist sort of content that doesn't amount to much. Meanwhile, to those who don't want to, be forced on Google, or to don't want to be forced with fucking Battlefield 6 not having a completed game or whatever, you have options. Yandex, FreeSpoke, or good search engines. DuckDuckGo has been bribed by Microsoft, so their results went to shit. Especially around COVID, because they want people uninformed, lazy, and inattentive. So they never do anything about their lives. They never find accurate news or results. Just indoctrination. Remember, no one's ever going to tell you when it happens. You'll know. You'll find out. Games Done Quick. Games Done Quick became... It used to be a place where you could just watch people speedrun. Now it's just an activist site, pretty much. It's just I don't know. It's like, apparently they've switched it over from just speedrunning video games, as the name would imply, to just, hey guys, we like transgender people, clapping, like a shitty sitcom joke. Well, I like them too, but I don't make it a point of my whole personality. I do other shit. I did ARGs for about 7 years. I play video games. I make music. I make a game. I make YouTube poops. There's more to Three of Spades than just some one-note bit that's been repeated for about a decade. Hey, these are people too, but why are you invading this space and forcing them in here when they, clearly aren't happy? They don't. You look at the people there they're putting in, and they're always unhappy. They tell you to be unhappy. It's like, no, I use this to unwind and relax. This is not your decision to make. I can do whatever the fuck I like, because I'm an adult. Oh, well, most of you are children. Okay, so if you know people are children, why are you actively breaking the terms of service of the website or whatever to then make content that punishes adults? You're using it as some sort of, hypocritical loophole. It's like, okay, well, if it's for children, why are you putting adult stuff in there? And if it's for adults, why are you making it seemingly childish? Are you making it to sort of seem like it's for adults who are disabled or something? In that case, well, maybe the charity money could go to those people and be very beneficial, but I imagine most of that gets pocketed. In fact, there's quite a lot of evidence to suggest that a lot of donation stuff just straight up gets spent on expensive cars and houses. So if you feel like the charitable type, you're never going to actually see the shit go where you think it should unless you work at like a soup kitchen. Then you'll know for certain. It's a fucked up world we live in sometimes, but hey, games like this and YouTube.com, they help you relax. So I hope I've helped you relax today, and I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful video and this very fun video game. I decided to do a double feature for you because I'm feeling real nice today. You take care, and you have a good one.